Hey, 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 Dr. Joe coming to you from Atlanta. Welcome to Your Wellness for Life. Happy Tuesday. It's Christmas week, December 22nd, 2020. It's the longest night of the year, the shortest day of the year. You can take that to your advantage. In tonight's topic, you might know what I'm talking about. Anyway, today is my 35th wedding anniversary. I bought 3 dozen roses and I actually took one of them out. It's funny with my green screen because they're green leaves. It looks like this rose is just kind of floating in the vase. But anyway, 35 years, and we're gonna do something fun tonight. Had a nice day today, just half day schedule. Got to go home a little early, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. Need to get my Facebook Live out of the way a little early today. So tonight's topic is going to be a little lighter, Christmas week. I don't want to make it too heavy. And I'd like to discuss the 10 secrets to having a happy marriage. So my parents were married for about 60 years or so. And my wife's parents were married for about the same length of time or maybe even longer. So we had good role models. And it's good to have good role models. Nowadays, the divorce rate is still kind of hovering around 50%. Back in the 70s, it was maybe a little bit worse. It may be a little bit better now. The main reason people talk about that millennials have delayed getting married, mainly because of the Great Recession, 2008. So they lost jobs, had trouble finding jobs. So that has kind of delayed marriage. And so the statistics may be a little bit skewed because you can't get divorced if you never get married in the first place. But anyway, so we're going to talk about the 10 secrets to having a happy marriage. And so let's just dive right into it. So, secret number one, guess what? Even happy couples argue. Do you remember your first real good argument? I remember mine. We were going to a photographer, and the wedding was just a few days off, and we were stressed. And I was in medical school, and even though it was my fourth year, it's a little bit lighter. We were stressed, and we're going to be moving to California, and we got into it. And it was something silly. It was about pictures or something that someone was wearing. I don't even remember what it was, but it was a silly argument. And so over the years, especially when you see couples that have been married for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, I'm sure they've had arguments over the years. So that's number one. Just assume that you're going to have some arguments. Number two, focus on each other's strengths. You will find some flaws. Hopefully, as you are dating and courting, that you find some of the flaws that are unacceptable to you. That's the whole purpose of courting, probably. And but anyway, focus on your strengths. And even though I'm a numbers guy, I've kind of left the books and the finances to my accountant, the wife, and I'm more like to work with my hands kind of thing. Even though I do appreciate numbers. So number two, focus on each other's strengths. Number three, don't expect your partner to complete you. If you rely on your spouse to fulfill you, it can lead to an overdependent relationship where you are not growing as individuals. Couples in healthy relationships should complement, not complete one another. So that's an important point. You need to have your separate worlds and your separate likes and interests. They may not all kind of mesh together. But number four, you still want to do some things together. So even though you have your separate interests, my wife loves to play tennis. I'm okay with the tennis. I think I can take it or leave it. I like to play my guitar, and she doesn't play an instrument. And so that's not that big of a passion for her. But where we have kind of found a couple of things that we like doing together, now that we're empty nesters and the kids are out of the house, cooking has really been fun. So Saturdays and Sundays when things are kind of quiet, we love just thinking about what the meal is going to be for dinner, and we have breakfast and say, so what's for dinner? Um, the other thing that we like to do is we like to watch the Hallmark Channel, and I try not to watch too much TV. But if you want something that's romantic, always positive, always has a happy ending, I recommend the Hallmark Channel. Um, and finally, when you do have things that you do together, don't let your egos get in the way. I remember playing tennis and playing mixed doubles, and sometimes, especially the guys, your ego gets in the way, and it may not be good for the chemistry of whatever the activity is. One thing that my wife and I did, and maybe a good activity to do together, is some kind of a project. We actually reupholstered some chairs, 4 chairs to a card table, and we loved doing it. We ripped off the old upholstery, we found some new fabric for it, and we really did it professionally and did some piping around it. We're very proud of that project, and it sits prominently in our den area. So that's number 4. Do some things together. Oh, and have some fun while you're doing it. Number 5, choose to be attracted to your spouse. It actually is a choice. And when couples run into trouble, they usually argue about money or they argue about sex. And I've heard that $500 may be the difference between a marriage falling apart or a marriage still sticking together. It may be an amount that is that small to just cover some basic um, expenses. And now that we've got this pandemic and people have lost their jobs and have been furloughed and all this other stuff, has added a stress um, to their relationship. So these 10 points may be very, very pertinent, especially now. And remember, just beauty isn't always on the outside. Remember, beauty is also inside. And physical attraction is far deeper than just your outside looks. Number 6, laugh with each other. Laughter is the best medicine for sure, and that may be my best quality. And I think if you're dating somebody, courting somebody, and you can make them laugh, I think that puts your relationship far ahead of the game. So laughter is the best medicine, and if you can make your partner laugh, that's a really good quality to have. So that's number 6. Number 7, what do we have number 7 here? Be kind to one another. It's so important to be respectful and understanding of your spouse. And if you're critical and judgmental, it usually ends in defensiveness and resentment. Remember the saying, if you don't have something nice to say, you probably shouldn't say anything at all. And maybe it would be best to just part ways, cool off, and then come back and have a level-headed discussion. No doubt about it. Communication certainly is the answer to most problems. So whether you're talking about couples or talking with a child or you're talking with a teenager or two countries are talking to each other or not talking to each other, you know what happens when you assume things. You make an ass out of you and me, and that usually ends up in trouble. So make sure that you communicate well, and forgiveness obviously is an important component in that communication. Number 8, celebrate good moments, the big ones and the small ones. So the big ones, obviously, celebrating birthdays and holidays and anniversaries like today, but also celebrate the little things. Now, when my wife was done with her brain tumor treatment, we had a big brain cancer remission party. We put up a big sign in the kitchen, and the kids came over, and we really celebrated that milestone. And it was very important for her. And that obviously is a big thing. But don't forget to compliment. Everybody likes to be complimented. It makes you feel good, even when you're making something small like getting the coffee started in the morning. Number 9, appreciate each other. Now, we've got the quarantining and the pandemic, a lot of couples are finding themselves working from home. And when you're working from home, you may be finding out for the first time the stressors of having maybe too much of each other. And so make sure that you do appreciate each other. It may just be a phase that you're going through. Don't forget to compliment each other, and we will all get through this. And number 10, over the course of the years, people do change, and you have to accept and expect change, and you have to kind of roll with the punches, so to speak. And I mentioned, forgiveness. Communication is important. Forgiveness is important. And they say that love is never having to say you're sorry. I think I'd like to add to that. Love is listening to your partner and giving them what they need, as long as it's not dangerous, illegal, or unethical. So, on that note, happy anniversary, happy birthday to anybody that's got today. It is the shortest day of the year. It's the longest night of the year, and we're going to go out and have some dinner. And I wish you a blessed Tuesday evening, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye.